Hi, Erick Mott from Creatorbase. I'm here with Christine Crandell. She is a B2B marketing strategist. We're actually sitting here at Four Seasons Quattro, enjoying a cup of coffee. So Christine, what is really big news in B2B marketing right now?
Well, the number one thing that I hear from CEOs when I talk to them is, how do I accelerate my revenue cycle? In this particular economic time, it's really all about growth. And when you look at growth, it really comes down to, how do you get additional net new customers? How do you get them faster into the pipeline? How do you reduce churn? If we start looking at some of the businesses, there's been a fundamental shift that's happened in the B2B world, and that says, because of social media, much of that process that buyers used to rely on salespeople on, they now do by themselves. And so accelerating revenue cycle becomes really difficult. That means marketing needs to really fundamentally change in how it does marketing. Instead of figuring out, well, I'm going to do webinars and podcasts and this, that, and the other to see what sticks or what resonates with the market, they need to go the other way around. And it's going out and researching, where do buyers go? What are they looking to achieve? Where do they go next? Who do they talk to? What are they looking to achieve? Where do they go next? That's the buyer's journey. From understanding that, you map your content and your assets and your activities directly to that. That's how you're going to drive high quality leads. It's how you're going to drive faster revenue cycle. It's how you're going to grow. And so the key is understanding and doing that research. How do you do that? Two ways. The first is, you already capture an awful lot of information in your marketing automation system, but you do it in silos. This is how this webinar performed, or this is how this event performed. Turn it the other way around. Drop it into a data mart and cut it based upon persona, based upon industry, and based upon time. Look over time as to, where did people go and what did they do? The other is, remember that thing called market research? It never really died. Go talk to the customers, talk to customers and prospects, find out what they do. Those two pieces together, that'll give you where to go and what to do and what content to map to which stages.
I've been following some of your thoughts on the Forbes column you write, and speaking of content, we all are responsible for some sort of content development, and content is so ubiquitous now, both in its creation and its consumption. From the web, from mobile, from social, even TV, and of course print, that those are all still valid channels. So what can marketing and sales do to make content more useful for revenue and value creation? I mean, you've spoken here about the buyer's journey, but what can they do day to day to really make an impact?
The biggest challenge in B2B marketing is that oftentimes content is created from what I think the buyer wants to hear, right? So it's a very inside out perspective. It needs to really be turned the other way. And also, it's written in very opaque language. So one of the two things that I first say is, write it in Joe Sixpack language, in language that your buyer uses. And secondly, go out and poll your buyer and your prospect as to what is it that they want to deem as valuable content, because it really is all about value. Buyers, as they go through this journey, want to realize value. They're not interested in reading a white paper just because you think it's interesting. They want to learn a best practice. They want to learn a way to save money, how to drive more revenue, how to build loyalty, how to use the technology. Just something of value.
Yeah, it's all around outcomes.
It's all around outcomes. It's totally. So it has to be in language that is easy to understand. It has to be around an outcome. And it has to be something that the buyer is asking you for.